Welcome to the Wonderlands, a glorious fantasy realm chock full of shooting, looting, and mystical, magical, smelly stuff.
Alright, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which is basically Borderlands' spin-off, actually set directly after the events of Tiny Tina's Assault of Dragonkeep from Borderlands 2, remember that? An action RPG FPS, really addictive. Check this out, Titty's Wonderland's now set to come our way with some DD action, Dungeons and Dragons, from actually the Titty game, that's tabletop by the way, into consoles and also PCs, March 25.
An ethereal psychic ghost sword? Stabomancers are all about creating and capitalizing on opportunities, vis-a-vis stabbing. Or should you prefer a less subtle approach, the Berserker is for you! See something? Smash it! See something else? Smash that! Unleash your frosty fury on foe after foe! Honestly, it's therapeutic. That's just a taste of what we've got in store for you. There are plenty more ways to play. Whatever your poison, we've got you covered.
Soldiers in camouflage gear cross various terrains. Caption: build your team. Male and female soldiers are shown.
We have another one of these later on in this list, but first, Ubisoft's actually been developing a lot of free-to-play games lately, which is, technically speaking, not really that free. Anyway, well, the latest one to come our way goes by Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Frontline, an FPS, PvP focused, 100-player supporter. Check it out, this game's supposedly coming out early next year and into consoles and also PCs.
Caption: recover intel. A map shows a location. A tablet shows drone intel being hacked. From the sky, a turret falls and shoots at enemies. The team gets into a truck. Caption: extract. The truck chases after a helicopter. A metal barricade drops, providing the team cover. Bombs explode, kicking up mud. A sniper tower is dropped in by parachutes. A sniper breathes deep. Teams of 3 rush into a field, dodging explosives. Soldiers fire automatic weapons as a helicopter hovers above. Red markers show different players' locations on a massive map.
Fat Shark just went on and released a sick new announcement video on Warhammer 40k Dogtide, which was self-described as a Left 4 Dead-like. Well, why Left 4 Dead-like though? Because it's a 4-player co-op first-person shooter basically, but well, obviously in the 40k universe. So the game is now coming to Xbox consoles only, at the same time PCs mid next year, and this is how it looks like.
Colonizers spill enough blood to plant their flag, and then wonder why the Tree of Liberty gets a thirst for the stuff. Padmavati Balan despised oppressors and their yoke on her people.
Call of Duty Vanguard arrives November 5 and into both gen consoles at the same time, PCs and not Switch. Which if you've been following, you probably know this, there's been a hefty amount of trailers coming out lately. Take it from maps to enemies, zombie mode, each character actually, it's a big game, you know? Anyway, here's another one, it's a good looking one. In case you didn't know, pre-orders for Call of Duty Vanguard is also available at the moment. Check it out.
She always did have a knack for irony.
Gave us solutions. A better world.
Perfect Dark, on the other hand, announced almost a year ago, self-described as an FPS spy thriller, kind of in the same vein as Splinter's Cells, though. Just wanted to drop the news of partnering up with Square Enix and possibly due out in late 2022, if not, well, early 2023. There's no new footage, but another thing, the game is now acting as a Microsoft exclusive and coming to PCs and Xbox consoles only.
Did you find the answers you were looking for, Agent Dark?
Not yet.
See where these drives are. Squad's ready.
Well, y'all know Battlefield is now coming out November. That's 19th, later this month. And just like Call of Duty Vanguard, to build more hype, they're coming up with a lot of videos. Folks behind the game DICE just released a new one showing off new maps, how the multiplayer's evolved since the first beta, and some other goodies. Battlefield 2042 eventually releases on PCs and both gen consoles, not Nintendo Switch.
The greatest terror our world has ever known.
Now, going back to Ubisoft, Rainbow Six Extraction's release date might have been also leaked. Ubisoft themselves actually did this, and you will be able to play this game apparently January 20th next year. Now, Rainbow Six Extraction is a co-op shooter in the tactical siege series as stated by Ubisoft, with the aim to deliver an experience that could change a lot of things in a big way for co-op games. In case you've missed, here's what it's all about.
We want a shot at tomorrow. We will move as one. We will think as one. We will do whatever it takes. As one. Together, we enter the unknown. Together, we fight for our future. And no one will be left behind.
Talk about games that got delayed. Boundary, with tactical shooter zero gravity experience from the Chinese studio Surgical Scalpels that was supposed to be released in only a few weeks away from now, was no longer gonna happen. The game is now postponed to an unspecified date to sometime next year, and into PlayStation consoles and PCs only. And also, as always, to accompany the news and keep things alive, they came up with a new one. Proteus, which has been in early access for quite a while now, is now targeting other consoles including Switch once fully out. Now frankly, if you're a fan of old school FPSs like, Heretic, Doom, and there's a lot of them, Proteus is almost a no-brainer for you. The level of art put into this game is on the next level, to be honest. And here's the good news, you can actually go ahead and grab this game, which is almost perfect at the moment, on Steam only for about $25, so just check it out in case you're new to it. Halo Infinite releases December 8th for Windows PC and Xbox consoles, of course, along with a free-to-play multiplayer and, of course, as always, a single-player campaign, which you've already known, but 343 just dropped another video here, and frankly, there's a ton of details you can learn about the game beforehand. Just remember, you don't really have that long to wait and see for yourself either, but just in case, check this out. So I've mentioned this one already in roughly a handful of videos, but just in case you missed it, there's some Dino Crisis inspired games on the way and they're not that far off either. There's this one called Lost Wild, there's another one called Project D, there's more, but the latest one on the gaming scene, however, is called Instinction, which is a survival horror game. Check it out, this game's targeting consoles and PCs mid to late next year.
After all this death, if you had the chance to do it all again,
Hive god of cunning and lies. After the death of her brother Oryx.
This is just a quick reminder, so Destiny 2 has just a crazy amount of content to be added to it soon, and the biggest one right now is the Witch Queen. It's also the first to come out next year, and this is actually what they came up for the new expansion, a trailer. Check out. The DLC releases February 22nd, and into all platforms, and also PCs, of course.
Stealing our most sacred resource. The one thing we thought she could never touch. The light.
So Shadow Warrior 3 went on and received a brand new trailer, only to announce the game's now delayed to 2022. Yeah, a specific release date will be announced soon, they said, and this, a new one. In case you're new to the series, this is a first-person shooter with an insane amount of violence. It's a fast-paced, there's just guts everywhere, and even you get to get physical. Check it out. In case you've missed it, this is how it looks like.
Flying wild butts off.
To hit the quality level we all want for a low-angst next adventure.
Hang tight, the exact date will be announced soon and we'll have a ton more to show
From Shadow Warrior 3.
Sprawl is another FPS retro, as you can see, decent hardcore as well, set in some sort of cyberpunk metropolis. Now this one's got a twist, there's a voice in your head and it's causing all this. Sprawl has been actually in the making for quite a while now by the two-man developer and possibly due out sometime later this year. In case you've missed it, this is how it looks like.
we're excited to share a first look at a project we're developing at Ubisoft San Francisco.
This is actually July 2021, but ever since, Ubisoft's busy developing a new free-to-play game in the Tom Clancy's name going by Defiance. What it is a 6 versus 6 arena. I think it's a battle royale game, to be honest, but is it a battle royale game? I don't know. I'm not sure. Check this out. This game releases possibly late 2021 and into both gen consoles including PCs, except Switch.
Your playstyle and the faction's role. Used skillfully, each faction is capable of swinging the momentum of a match. Our factions are at the heart of the game. They're inspired by maverick groups from across Tom Clancy's games and beyond. From this inspiration, we created new characters and gameplay unique to our shooter. And we'll continue to add to this diverse cast as the game evolves.
You ever wonder how it all ends? What if it ended with a song?
So if you're a classic like games like Doom fan, you probably have an idea what mental health singer is over here. If not, though, it's actually pretty simple. It is a rhythm-based shooter, first-person adrenaline, and a lot of it. And that rhythm part is actually a big deal in this game. Mental Health Singer is at the moment expected to come out later this year and into PCs and also consoles. You can go ahead and wish this the game on Steam right now.
And published by Handy Games.
The description page on Steam says, Perish is a 4-player co-op purgatory FPS. It's a really weird game, to be honest, but a mighty looking one. I'm actually pretty hyped about this one. The developers of which are actually brand new, however, meaning I have no idea how it'll turn out eventually, but nevertheless, Perish doesn't have a release date just yet and only targeting PCs. Check it out.
A necropolis dedicated to the damned and forgotten. It's a sanctum for uninitiated souls who dream of finding a path to Elysium and the tomb to which they return if their quest to find the afterlife ends violently. Guided
by the same folks who brought King's Bounty games, we have here Dread Templar, an FPS retro classic. One that actually combines elements of the two eras. That's the 90s and the 2020s, with the horde-based interactions and also puzzle elements. Yeah, kinda serious, Sam, but painkiller, Doom, Duke, Nukem. Check it out. This game is coming to PCs sometime later this year. Alright, Abyss is on the other hand a roguelike Sharky, basically revolving around an advanced underwater civilization. FPS, nonetheless, which was announced no more than a few months back, is now actually planned to be released on PCs in 2023. This game is actually described as a brain-punk FPS that's, I think, somewhere between steampunk and cyberpunk, I don't know, which also surprisingly doesn't look garbage either. And, well, this is how it looks like. Last but not least, from earlier at E3 this year, Anacrosis is a 4-player co-op shooter actually coming out this fall into PCs and Xbox consoles only. Actually, possibly no more than a month away from now. So here's the thing, if you like Left 4 Dead games, you've played those games, and just basically a 4-player co-op, but instead of zombies, aliens give you those vibes, this one's definitely the one for you, and it's looking actually pretty mighty. Check it out real quick.
Open the doors and run. Just run. No stopping, no shooting, just straight to the bridge.
Get that flash!
Heavy. Really? We call them tanks.
I call them brutes. From Latin, Brutus.
We'd sound smart calling them brutes.
Eon, you don't want to get in here and help name these?
Nah, I'm good.
Brute!